The serene town of Pahalgam, in Indian-administered Kashmir, became the epicenter of a major international crisis on April 22, 2025. A militant group, believed to be operating from Pakistani soil, launched a devastating attack on this popular tourist destination. The assault resulted in the tragic loss of 25 Indian nationals and one Nepalese citizen, sending shockwaves through India and the international community. India was quick to point the finger at Pakistan, blaming its neighbor for harboring and supporting the militants responsible for the attack. Pakistan vehemently denied any involvement in the Pahalgam incident, calling India's accusations baseless and provocative. The attack, coming amidst already strained relations between the two nuclear-armed nations, ignited a powder keg in South Asia. The international community condemned the attack and urged both India and Pakistan to exercise restraint. However, the calls for de-escalation fell on deaf ears as the drums of war grew louder with each passing day. The Pahalgam attack proved to be a turning point, pushing India and Pakistan to the brink of a full-blown conflict. On May 7, 2025, India launched a series of retaliatory airstrikes against alleged terrorist camps operating within Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. This operation, codenamed Sindoor, marked a significant escalation in the conflict. Indian Air Force jets conducted a total of 24 strikes, targeting 6 locations: Muzaffarabad, Kotli, Bagh, Ahmedpur Sharkia, Muridka and Shakagar. The Indian government asserted that Operation Sindoor was a preemptive measure aimed solely at dismantling terrorist infrastructure. They emphasized that the strikes were meticulously planned to avoid any collateral damage and specifically targeted militant training camps while steering clear of Pakistani military installations. Pakistan, however, painted a different picture. They claimed that the Indian strikes had resulted in civilian casualties and damage to civilian infrastructure, including mosques. Pakistan reported 31 civilian deaths as a direct result of the strikes, further inflaming anti-India sentiment within the country. The Pakistani government condemned the strikes as an act of aggression and vowed a befitting response. The international community watched with bated breath as tensions between India and Pakistan reached a fever pitch. Global powers, including the United States, China, Russia, and the European Union, issued urgent calls for restraint and dialogue. The United Nations also stepped in, urging both sides to de-escalate the situation and find a peaceful resolution. Several countries offered to mediate between the two warring neighbors. US President Donald Trump, along with other world leaders, expressed their willingness to help facilitate talks. However, the deep-rooted mistrust and decades of animosity between India and Pakistan made any immediate diplomatic breakthrough seem unlikely. Despite the international pressure, both India and Pakistan remained locked in a war of words. Diplomatic channels were severely strained as both countries expelled diplomats and suspended trade ties. The situation remained highly volatile, with the specter of further military escalation looming large. At the heart of the India-Pakistan conflict lies the long-standing dispute over Kashmir. Both countries claim the Himalayan region in its entirety, but administer only parts of it. The territorial dispute has been a major source of tension and has led to numerous wars and skirmishes between the two nations. The Pahalgam attack and the subsequent Operation Sindoor brought the Kashmir issue back to the forefront of global attention. The international community once again acknowledged the need for a peaceful and lasting solution to the conflict, recognizing that the status quo was unsustainable and posed a grave threat to regional and global security. As the dust settled on the latest round of hostilities, the future remained uncertain. The threat of further escalation could not be ruled out, and the potential for miscalculation remained high. The India-Pakistan conflict, fueled by historical grievances, territorial disputes, and the ever-present shadow of nuclear weapons, continued to cast a long shadow over South Asia and the world.